in search of spring. Spring. We talk such a lot about spring. We look forward to spring coming. We spring clean our houses so we can welcome spring. Spring brings us lots of wonderful things like sunshine and Easter eggs and baby animals. But who is this spring that we welcome into our house? What does he look like? How will we know that it's him? Jumble had this problem. He just didn't understand who spring was. Jumble was not happy at all. The bedroom was a mess. The kitchen was a mess. The den was a mess. The whole house was a mess and everyone was busy. Too busy to talk to Jumble. Maisie was cooking. Georgie and Alfie were sorting the jumble box. Bobby was tidying the kitchen cupboard. Freddie was gardening. And Lizzie Witch was making magic spells. I don't like it here, said Jumble. I'm going to go and see Wise Owl. What's the matter, Jumble? Asked Wise Owl. I don't understand, said Jumble. Why is everyone so busy? And why is the house in such a mess? They are getting ready to welcome spring, Jumble, said Wise Owl. But who is spring, and what does he do? Asked Jumble. Why don't you ask the woodland creatures, said Wise Owl. Maybe they can help. So Jumble set off into the wood. Do you know who spring is? Jumble asked Spider. Oh yes, said Spider. Spring brings me lots of flies to eat. But who is spring? Asked Jumble. Go and ask Caterpillar, said Spider. So Jumble went to see Caterpillar. Do you know who spring is? Asked Jumble. Oh yes, said Caterpillar. Spring brings me wings so I can fly. But who is spring? Asked Jumble. Go and ask Snail, said Caterpillar. So Jumble went to see Snail. Do you know who spring is? Jumble asked Snail. Oh yes, said Snail. Spring brings me warm days and lots of food. But who is spring? Asked Jumble. Go and see Hedgehog, said Snail. So Jumble went to see Hedgehog. Do you know who spring is? Jumble asked Hedgehog. Oh yes, said Hedgehog. Spring wakes me up from my long winter sleep. But who is Spring? Asked Jumbletoft. Go and ask Tree, said Hedgehog. Do you know who Spring is? Jumbletoft asked Tree. Oh, yes, said Tree. Spring always brings me a new green coat and lots of flowers. Oh, but who is Spring? Asked Jumbletoft. Go and ask Wise Owl, said the tree. Spring must be very clever, thought Jumbletoft. He wakes up Hedgehog, he gives Tree a new green coat, and Spider lots of flies. He even makes wings for Caterpillar. But, Wise Owl, I still don't know who Spring is, said Jumbletoft. What does he look like? And how will I know it's him? Listen carefully, Jumbletoft, and I will tell you, said Wise Owl. Spring is as fresh as a green meadow sprinkled with daisies. His clothes are as bright as yellow plume, or as soft as cherry blossom. His voice can be as gentle as the fluttering of butterfly wings, or as loud as the cry of seagulls. Spring smells as sweet as strawberries. His touch is as soft and warm as a tiny kitten. Spring brings us Easter, Easter eggs and the Easter bunny. Spring chases away the cold, dark winter days and brings sunshine and colour and laughter. I think I like Spring, said Jumbletoft. He is like a very special visitor. So Jumbletoft found his little brush and helped the rest of the Jumbles get ready to welcome Spring into Jumble House. Would you like to make your own snail or Jumbletoft or spider or hedgehog or maybe an Easter bunny? The instructions for these and many more can be found on our website at www.jumblefun.net. And you'll find lots more science, art and learning programs for young children on my website and videos on my channel. Why I wrote In Search of Spring. Two of our grandchildren live in Singapore, a place where it's always summer, where there are no seasons, and I found it quite difficult to talk to them about the seasons, especially about spring, because we seem to personify spring. We talk about it as if it's a person. Maybe it's because we're so glad that winter's over and spring is coming, that we sort of really look forward to it so much. It seems to be more special than the other seasons. And we will say we're going to spring clean our houses, ready to welcome spring. Spring is going to bring us lots of baby animals. we're going to have new clothes ready for spring, and we are going to look forward. We look forward to spring coming. And it is like we're talking about a person, and I think it's a really difficult concept for any young child to understand, but especially for children who have never experienced seasons. So I thought I would write a story to explain more about spring in child's language, from a child's point of view, and from a child who didn't really understand what spring was. And I chose the jumble tuft in the book because if you've actually read this book, which is you have never seen a jumble tuft, you will know that jumble tufts are very, very tidy little creatures. You find them in drawers and cupboards and anywhere that needs tidying up. They do not like a mess. So for a little jumble tuft, having his house turned upside down to welcome spring, this person that he doesn't even know, he's not sure how he's going to recognize him, is very similar to a child who doesn't really understand what all the fuss is about. And in the book, I tried to portray spring in a sensory way, what we feel about spring. The colours and shapes, the sounds, the smells and tastes, the warmth and sunshine, the feeling of a new beginning. But the proof is in the pudding, so we have to see whether they enjoy reading it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I'll probably put it on Amazon as an ebook. Of course, you can get a real copy from Jumble House.